Well, researchers at UW-Madison say a drug typically prescribed for arthritis halts brain-damaging seizures in mice with epilepsy.
It's fascinating. The drug also restores short-term and working memory lost to epilepsy. If the drug ends up viable for humans, it would be the first to provide lasting relief from seizures, even after patients stop taking it, which is remarkable news for people who are living with epilepsy. The authors of the study, Professor Avtar Rupra and researcher Olivia Hoffman, are with us today. Welcome to you both.
Hi.
Hello. Olivia, let's start with you. What is the name of the drug, and how did you figure out that it helps with epilepsy?
So the drug is called tofacitinib, and we, as scientists, get to play with some really fun toys. So one of the things that we can do nowadays is take every single cell in the brain, bust it open, and find out what the gene levels are. And so when we did that in mice, we found a target, STAT3, and we realized a drug already exists out there to target it. So, it was kind of happenstance in that way. But then when we looked, we also found our target in the brains of humans who've had to undergo brain surgery because the current epilepsy medications aren't working for them. And that's about 1/3 of patients. So if we can get this to humans, it would be huge.
Yeah, and why aren't those medications working very well then?
Well, there are that's a whole field of research. But one of the things is, they're mostly aimed at suppressing the seizures, and that's because we don't really know what mechanisms are underlying those seizures. Seizures are symptoms of epilepsy, which, and we haven't really begun to fully untangle the disease and the processes that underlie those seizures.
Avtar, 1 in 26 people will be diagnosed with epilepsy. Put in perspective for us how significant this research is, or could be.
So as Olivia says, there are no drugs which can cure the disease. You will be on these drugs for a very long time, if not forever. What we were looking for is the holy grail of research, which is a drug which we can give for a brief period, take it away, and the patients will be left seizure-free and their memory and cognition returned back to normal. And at least in our lab experiments, that's what we have found. So this will impact probably 50 to 60,000 people in Wisconsin alone. We are very, very excited.
Yeah. For people who have been waiting for hope, for something new, to stop suffering or stop seeing their loved ones suffering, I mean, what do you think of when you are helping maybe bring that to them?
It's that personal connection is very important.
Yeah.
And so we are very lucky. We have Lily's Fund helping us fund our research.
And they're at the local level.
And they're at the local level. And so through them, we meet patients and people who care for people with epilepsy. And that's a real motivator for our efforts to ensure that we are focused on the task at hand.
Some of the money for your grant is coming from the NIH, I understand. Are you worried at all with federal funding cuts that you might lose that money?
Yeah, it's a very scary time because the bulk of our research funding comes from the NIH, and with these current cuts, we are in danger of having to shut down this research perhaps forever, because when people leave the lab because we can't pay them, they don't come back, they get other jobs.
And they take knowledge with them.
They take all the expertise and knowledge with them, so it's an extremely precarious and scary time, and it's quite gut-wrenching to not know what's going to happen next. So it's scary.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your research with us, and hopefully this helps a lot of people.
And please come back
Yes.
as it progresses, because by the time we get to the human trials, what kind of time frame are we looking at? Because that's a hard question to answer, I guess.
This drug's already approved for humans for other diseases, so we're hoping it'll be a rapid timeline. So maybe we'll see you in 2 weeks. About 5 years.
You'll be able to say you saw it here first.
Yeah.
Thank you both. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.